it truly is a pleasure to meet you. I love your work, and I loved you in this film. I loved you out of the corsets. What was that like for
Slightly
you?
different.
I love a t-shirt. I mean, you look liberated.
I was, God, it was so nice to just be in like gym gear all day, you know. You didn't have to worry about anything. Yeah, I mean, it's such a different character and it was so different to what I, do on Outlander, and that was sort of a lot of the attraction of doing this role. And we filmed it, I think between season 7 and 8. So yeah, it was a really nice little kind of departure from Claire, and yeah, for a minute.
People don't care about stats, only champions. I have a title fight set in Vegas for next week.
He's not a competitive fighter anymore.
Yeah? Then why'd he call me?
He won't make the weight check.
I'll take care of the checks, so long as he can hit the official weigh-in.
That's 26 pounds in 6 days.
I know a guy. Gets things done, but I ain't gonna lie. It'll be rough on him.
I mean, I have to say the costumes may be different, but boy, are the themes the same of standing by the man you love and, wanting to ease his suffering in any way possible. So there were some similarities there in character.
Yeah, I guess I'm a sucker for a love story in like some ways. Um, I think, I mean, obviously, I think that the sort of the character is very different to Claire and all of that, but I do think, these are two very damaged people who found each other, and they are trying to make each other's lives and their own lives better. And I always think of it as Caitlin has been through recovery and has perhaps more tools than Boxer has at at knowing how to live a better life for herself. And Boxer is still very much sort of holding on to these ideas that one thing is going to solve his problems. And he's got this dream that he had to give up on that's haunted him. And so that's kind of like, it's such a painful thing when you watch somebody you love be haunted by something and be destroyed by the loss of something. And of course, it's about much more than the fight or the kind of title he never got. And that's what Boxer doesn't realize, but Caitlin does. But she still is somebody who, does not always make the right decisions. She enables him, I think, quite a lot because she loves him.
Yeah.
She finds it hard to say no. But what I loved about her is that ultimately, no matter how much she loved him, she had that self-preservation enough to kind of go, if I stay here, you're going to take me down too. And I can't help you. I can't hold your hand through this thing. So it's quite, I thought it was really heartbreaking, this sort of tortured love story that's at the center of this.
You can back out. There's no shame.
That's not entirely true. I mean, there would be shame. There would be massive, crushing shame. The problem is, your girl loves you. So she's only gonna hurt you so much. What you need is someone that loves something more than they love you. To me, you're nothing but a poker chip.
I thought it was beautifully done. Not gonna lie, I'm not someone who does well with boxing, violent. I'm the person who's like this, but I was so drawn to this by the
Mm.
love story, by the human story, by the damage and the redemption. I thought it was beautifully done, truly, truly.
Um,
You know,
I love how Sean, took the story and created something so it is heartbreaking. There's something so fragile about it. And, it's intense and there's really gruesome moments, but it is about somebody's tortured mentality. I mean, that's really it's about somebody who's breaking and what it takes sometimes to be pushed to the edge of your own sanity, of your own physical limits, but how somebody can come back from that, which, I think it's hopeful at the end. I believe that he does, or it's the beginning of the journey, right?
I'm with you. That's what I'm thinking. I'm right there with you. I would like to believe that the story goes on and it does end beautifully. I have to ask, obviously, Orlando's physical transformation. Oh my goodness. What was
Amazing.
that like being a witness to this?
I mean, so I was just so impressed by him in so many ways. I think that I think when somebody comes to you and it's like, look, this is this actor, this is what they're going to do, this is a real passion project of theirs. I'm always so impressed by somebody who's like, I'm known for this sort of thing, but now I want to pivot and do this, and I want to really take a risk. And if I can go on that journey with you and support you on that journey, that's amazing because I think we all deserve the chance to like really do something very different and transformative. And I think he succeeded so brilliantly in this. We met sort of about a month and a half before we started filming, or maybe a little bit longer. And we did a couple of sessions of training together. And so at that point, he had already started his boxing training and he'd already maybe started working with a nutritionist. But then I didn't see him for about 3.5, 4 weeks. And when I saw him, I think it was his first or second day filming, and we shot reverse chronologically, and he looked, I mean, I was shocked. He looked like a shriveled raisin. It was like shocking. He had dropped 30 pounds. He was just so cut in terms of like just cut, but he looked just amazing and the amazing prosthetics they had done and all of that. But it was so hard for him, to have that reduced calories at that point, and he was reducing even, fluids to a certain point. I mean, he was doing it under the supervision of someone. But then to film for 10, 11 hours, be in every scene, all of that, you're just as Katrina that then bleeds into the Caitlin character, you're full of concern and you're just like, I want you to be okay. Like, what do you need? What do you need from me to help you like get through this? And then of course, halfway through filming, he's like double pasta lunches and like ice cream and all of that to then put it all on by the time you get to the end of the movie. And he's like regained 30 pounds, which was wild.
What a transformation. And let me ask you, obviously, you are not a boxer, but in your industry as an actress, there are physical demands for roles as well. Have you ever felt this pressure to physically transform for a role?
No, I mean, this is the first time I was like, and I didn't really need to necessarily because, I mean, in the original draft of the scripts, Caitlin was doing some boxing too, but then it sort of ended up just being pad work. But I started boxing training about 2 months out of doing this, and I loved it, and I got so into it. And I still keep it up when I can. I was working with an amazing coach, Ruth Raper, who boxed for Team GB in her day. And it's amazing because it helps you get an understanding of what that sport is. And like, I had no idea how mentally focused you need to be when you're boxing. Like everyone sort of, it's a good workout and you understand about how like physically demanding it is, but it was the mental demands of just the training of it and when the sequences are called and how sharp and focused you need to be. Like it's amazing. I love it. I sort of found my I found the thing that like gets me to the gym.
Hey, you always have to find the thing that gets you to the gym,
I
right?
know. But I'd never really done that before. And I think when you have the time, most time for most things, you don't have the time, or at least I haven't. Um, you don't get cast long enough, or there isn't that sort of thing. But it was really fun to be able to do that.
How lovely. And of course, Outlander, again, I was late to the party, but boy, am I a member of the party now. It is just extraordinary. Obviously, we cannot get enough. Season
Mhm.
8. How
Yeah.
how long do you see the story going? And if it were up to us, we would go on forever and ever.
Well, season eight's done and dusted, and that's the end. But it's wild because obviously we finished filming that about a year ago, almost a year ago. But it's sort of waiting for it to come out and for everyone to see it. So in many ways, it sort of feels like we've said our goodbyes a lot, but there's this whole other phase of it to go. So I don't know. It was the most incredible job. It was the most incredible journey. It changed my life. I made and met lifelong friends, and I grew up on that show in many ways. It was over a decade of my life. So yeah, it's weird that it's done, but
What a
I
joy.
think, yeah.
What joy you brought to us, honestly. What a just beautiful, fun escape. And I have to ask, Sense and Sensibility, another joy, another like, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. What can you tell us there?
I'm so excited. Obviously Daisy Edgar Jones and Esme Creed Miles and amazing in their roles. And I just Georgia Oakley, our director, she's fantastic. And I think, you know, there have been such good adaptations of this already, but the last one was 30 years, and I think every new generation has their own sort of perspective on it. And I'm just so excited about Georgia's because she's really an incredible talent and she's such an artistic, um, she's just got such an artistic vision. So yeah, I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
Well, speaking of incredible talents, thank you for all the joy and art that you've put into the world. And we cannot wait to see where you go from here. Thank you again.
Thank you, Yvette. Lovely to talk with you.
Take care.